Hello everyone, it's Adil Malik from Universe.tech, and today we are going to discuss the metaverse, the concept which is being very popular nowadays in between uh, developers community. Let's see what it is. Let's jump in. Okay, to understand any of the concept, we need to uh, discuss it, or we need to see that how that concept is being matured throughout the history, how we connect that concept with the history. So if we see that how and when this concept has been uh, put by the different writers in their novels. Then it started in 1950. The Valid, which is a short story, uh, and it is being written by Ray Bradbury. Then in 1953, there was a novel, The Trouble with Bubbles. And then the very famous novel in 1992, The Snow Crash, in which the term metaverse was coined by the author Neil Stephenson. And then in 1999, there is a very blockbuster movie of Matrix. So so if we see throughout from the history of 70 plus years, that's how this concept is being pitched by the writers in different novels and in a different way. So, whenever a concept is being pitched to any society, that society is definitely being influenced, and which was expected as developers got influenced with this concept. And then in 1970, first program with having this sense of virtual worlds came into being, and in it was multi-user dungeons, which is MUDs, the very famous text-based virtual world in 1970. Then Lucasfilm created Habitat in 1986, and then very with a very good graphics, there is a game with the name Second Life is being invented and came into the surface on 2000 in 2003. And then in 2010, Minecraft and Roblox. These all games or programs have the concept of the virtual world. And let's see how the human society behaves or interact or reacted with these. So we see a number of events had happened in the past uh, two decades, couple of decades. In 2007, a stock exchange was properly a stock exchange was launched that was based on Second Life game to help different companies to raise their capital. And numerous real world organizations and business established in within the Second Life game, like Adidas, BBC, Wells Fargo, some of non-profitable societies like American Cancer Society, Save the Children. They were created within the game, and even the University of Harvard offered law courses that can be attended within the Second Life game in 2004. You see, university started offering courses in the virtual reality in the virtual world. Uh, uh, then it comes to the construction. One of the player, Astar, constructed a complete city uh, in the Minecraft with blocks. Verizon built a cell phone, proper cell phone within the Minecraft, in which if you're playing Minecraft and you get that phone, then you can make a real call to the real world. You can call on my number from within the game. So Verizon built it a real video call uh, from the game to the real world. So that's how seems some connection between virtual realities. Again, in COVID and pandemic, after pandemic or during pandemic, there was a hospital built in Wuhan with the that was built like in a record time, I guess like in 7 days. So a Chinese community of Minecraft players rapidly recreated that hospital within the game to pay tribute. So that's how the human society reacted to the virtual worlds and how they have overlapping experiences. And when we move forward, and in 1920, the Fortnite, a very famous name in the gaming world, helped the hip hop star Travis Scott to host a concert inside a virtual world, inside a game that was attended by around 28 million people. Let's see some glimpse of that concert.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gone on you with the pick and roll. She notarized. Got new money, got new problems, got new enemies.
So you have seen that in the virtual world you can play with the graphics. Like if you see the video, you'll experience that how much graphically uh, mm, he was capable of doing such great things. It's just like you can do whatever you desire in the virtual world. That's why human society reacted so much towards this concept. Now, uh, as we have seen from the history, the concept was pitching by the writers throughout 70 years and more. Programmers built virtual world. There was an interaction, but we need a definition that what is metaverse. Let's see. There's a book just published by Matthew Wall, and in that book, the book is named as what is the metaverse, the very first book on the subject. In that book, Matthew Wall has defined a definition for this metaverse. Let's see what he is saying about the metaverse concept. A massively scaled and interoperable network of real-time rendered 3D virtual worlds that can be experienced synchronously and persistently by an effectively unlimited number of users with an individual sense of presence and with continuity of data, such as identity, history, entitlements, objects, communications, and payments. So, yes, this is the definition. Let's break it down to understand it more deeply. It might not give you a clear picture in the first read. Let's break it down into these steps or these basic concepts, and let discuss them one by one. Virtual world that we have already discussed, that it is any computer generated simulated environment which can be 3D, can be 2D, and even it can be a text based, just like MUDs in the early 90s, in early 1970s. It can be a Pixar film, which don't have an individual user. And even nowadays, the game has been so advanced. So there are lots of examples for the virtual world, like Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda, Roblox, Minecraft. So they are the examples of the virtual world. Uh, It is just a simulated, computer simulated environment. We call it a virtual network. Yes, definitely 3D. 3D is necessarily important. It is, you can say, inherent feature of the metaverse. As Mark Zuckerberg said himself, that 3D is an inherently more intuitive interaction model for humans than 2D websites, apps, and video calls, especially in social use cases. Imagine just students are taking classes in the virtual room where they are sitting with their class fellows, they are sitting beside them, and they can have a eye contact with the teacher. So to observe and experience that kind of environment and to feel lively, that has to be in 3D. But it doesn't mean that 2D will be vanished and there is no place of 2D in the metaverse. uh, in the metaverse, users can experience 2D games, or they can play 2D games. They can experience and use 2D software, but within the metaverse. So, for metaverse, it has to be 3D, but within the metaverse, there are some part of 2Ds. There might be some parts. Okay, real time rendering. It is very important to feel alive, to just have a feeling like we have in the real world. We are processing like 25 to 30 frames per second to have a very clear image of any object that is being placed far away from us. So, in the metaverse, it has to be like the same way. If there's an object that is placed a bit away from you, and you looked at that, and you see that because of the rendering issue, it might see might you might see a blurred picture first, then it cleared after a few milliseconds, but it will, you can say, disturb your experience, and how it would be a live experience, that if you are seeing something and it takes time to render. So real-time rendering is a must thing in metaverse, uh, but you need to understand that it is a challenge, and it's a technical challenge. And like there's an animation blockbuster animation by Pixar, which is Monster University, launched I guess around 2013. They used several thousand codes in a row, uh, or you can say in a parallel processing, to render that very heavy animated movie within a second. Otherwise, they would take a lot of months and years to render it. So that's how things are being complicated with respect to the hardware resources when it comes to the rendering. So for the rendering, a very high compute is required, which is necessary for metaverse. Interoperable network. It is like if you in the metaverse, definitely, metaverse is a network of virtual worlds which is all interconnected. Like, just for example, Minecraft is connected to the Roblox. If you have purchased some shirt or a cap in the Roblox, it has to be you can use that cap and the same t-shirt in the Minecraft, and that data has to be processed. If you have purchased something, you have some money in some of the game or in the virtual reality, that has to be your throughout the other virtual worlds. If you traverse into different virtual worlds, your related thing, your the things which is under your ownership, like money, like clothes, and what and other objects, that need to be persistent throughout, that need to be interoperable throughout virtual networks. So yes, for the metaverse case, anything you buy in one virtual world can be used in the other virtual world, with definitely after some consensus and some protocol or standards being built. Yes, massively scale, just like the internet we are using today. Uh, lots of pages is being created within a 1 day, millions, even in millions. So same case for this. Otherwise, it seems you just like a digital theme park, a destination with a handful and creative attractions. But if it is being massively scaled, like you visit from your virtuals, where you join the metaverse in your virtual private virtual space, and from there you jumped from the other virtual worlds, other virtual spaces created by the other individuals, other small to medium companies. This is the way you traverse in the metaverse, just like today you are using the internet by just opening just you used to open Google, search there, and from Google jump to the other sites. Similar for the metaverse case, but it has to be scaled. Like if you visited metaverse today, and after 7 8 days you visit again and you found more and more virtual worlds, just like an internet. So that's how metaverse will going to be built within the time. Persistence is a very important thing, and you can say, and if there is no persistence, that there might not be you can say a real time experience. It is like if you, let's say, if you started build something in the metaverse like a house or a building, and you, let's say, you completed one story today after 3 or 4 days work, and you exit and you make exit to the from that metaverse, you joined again after some days, then that building or whatever you was building it should remain there within the same exact position or with the same exact features. So metaverse has to be persistence, otherwise it won't give you the experience like a real world. So if we talk about the games in terms of persistency, that there are not there are not a single game which is persistent in a real sense. Like Eve Online, Roblox, and Minecraft, they are persistent, but for some certain map, for some certain user, and for some certain time. Just like if a gameplay, we can discuss some multi-user online game on which 100 and 120 users can play a map for 20 30 minutes. So within that time, the map will be persist, the things broken or destroyed during the gameplay will remain as it is. But when the time's up, then before the other session everything will be reset. So that is not a persistency, but in metaverse we need it, so that we have the experience of the real life. Synchronous, yes, synchronous is a must thing, but yes, it's need to be a very much advancement uh, in the infrastructure that we are having right now. Uh, just assume quickly that if we face a synchronous issue, how it might affect our experience. That if you're playing a game in the metaverse and multiple users are with you, a user B, you aimed a headshot, and when you just pull the trigger during that time, the player B got some glitch in his network and it got out of the sync. So when he joined back, the user joined back, it might get some millisecond time to get it back to its position. Then definitely there is a fair chance that your bullet won't hit that person, because at that time the person is not even there in that position. So the experience will be very bad for this. So synchronous is a very important thing, because we are going to experience metaverse all together. It is not for a single user, it is for everyone. The existence of the metaverse will be remain true for all connected users, and it has to be synchronous. Right now the technologies we are using, just like a live meeting and the Netflix, whatever the live streaming is, that is not an example of synchronous. They have different strategies to do this. Yes, unlimited users and individual presence, individual sense of presence. Your metaverse or your virtual reality, which is connected to other virtual worlds in the metaverse, uh, it has to be that much capable that it can hold a million and billion of users at a time. And when the million of users are connected, then individual sense of presence should be there for every user. As it is a metaverse, uh, it is an experience that multiple users going to be have within the same time. So yes, it has to be capable of handling unlimited users, but with the individual sense of presence that shouldn't be disturbed. Now read again. Let's see if it makes sense now. A massively scaled and interoperable network of real-time rendered 3D virtual worlds that can be experienced synchronously and persistently by an effectively unlimited number of users with an individual sense of presence and with continuity of data such as identity, history, entitlement, objects, communication, and payments. So now it is making some sense that the metaverse will going to be a network of virtual worlds which are interoperably connected with each other, and they are rendered real time. They are 3D virtual worlds, and they are rendered real time. They are synchronous as well as they are persistent. An unlimited number of users can sense them, can use it, or can experience the metaverse along with their individual sense of presence. And of course, every user's data will be continuously available throughout the period. Uh, just like the user's identity, its history, its entitlements, money, anything, any ownership that users have. So now it's getting some sense. What missed? Yes. Where is decentralization, Web3 blockchain not in the definition? Well, actually, it is something like overlapping or mixture of different tech. Actually, Metaverse and Web3 both are successor of today's mobile network, and you can say both concepts are have some pros and cons, some common points. Both are different, yes, definitely, but they can prevail. It's a healthy competition between two concepts. One is speaking of individual ownership and decentralization, and the other one is so massive that it cannot be handled by single users, or there must be some kind of a centralization, some features which is related to that centralization, or but still it is overlapping. It's a mixture of different tech, like ownership of thing which we just discussed in the metaverse for the interoperability network, so that things need to be owned uh, in the real time. That's so there is NFT ownerships comes into the play, into the mix again. Web3 for data persistency. If you need a persistence in the data, the blockchain is there. Gaming experience, definitely with the 3D visualization, with the help of AI as well, along with it, will give you the live metaverse experience. Decentralization network computing might be able to compute such a massive requirement of metaverse, as it has to be real time rendered, it is a 3D, and lots of processing required. And definitely lots of web 2 tech will also be helping in building metaverse. The metaverse will be built on previous technology. Definitely it shouldn't be from the raw, so the old technology will have to build it. So metaverse is something overlapping between multiple technologies, including blockchain, web3, gaming, VR, MR experiences. Yes, Metaverse is the next generation internet, and it will be constructed by independent users, developers, and small to medium businesses, just like the real world, just like the physical world. Anyone who wants the metaverse to exist, and even those who don't, should want the metaverse to be driven by these groups rather than mega corporation, of course. So that's it from from the today's session. I think uh, things related to metaverse and concept of the metaverse might uh, or this concept might be getting cleared. So I hope now you can understand the metaverse concept and its technology. Uh, Thank you very much from my side, and thank you for watching this video. Bye.